This is the Newark City School District Board of Education regular meeting being held at the Roosevelt Administrative Offices at 5:30 p.m. December 12th, 2016. Jeff, call the roll, please.
Mr. Flowers? Here. Mr. Carr?
Here.
Ms. Niggum?
Here.
Mr. Weber?
Here.
Mr. Blind?
Here.
All present. We have a quorum of 5.
We'll now have the Pledge of Allegiance with the colors being
Guard,
presented by
attention.
the Newark
For
High School
arms
Junior ROTC
Carry.
Color Guard.
Guard. Forward. March. March time. March. Left turn. March. Color guard. Halt. Present. Arms.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Right turn. March. Forward. March. Color guard. Halt. Color guard.
We have them come back to the podium, give their names and class and everything.
Master Sergeant, if you could have your students come forward to the podium here. As they're coming, as the students are coming forward, I appreciate your time tonight. Most important, I appreciate your time all the time, because this group here is, I believe in its 8th year of existence. I know the program is. I think the color's at least 7, and they are really, every year they just keep getting better in terms of where they're at, where they're presenting. I know that Mr. Shively and I stood at Ohio Stadium a couple weeks ago on a Friday. They did the 3 o'clock and the 8 o'clock state final game. And they marched across the field and out in the middle of the Block O. I got a great picture of you out in the Block O. But not only do they have the United States flag, they had the Ohio flag, had the Air Force flag, and also that big N, the big Newark flag out there in the middle of that Ohio Stadium. And my hair stands up every time you do. I'm so proud of you guys. And I always say, we get 2 Newarks. Newark Junior ROTC from Newark High School. And so thousands of people see that, and they get to see what great kids we have. And they did the 3 o'clock, and they waited again until the 8, and they couldn't be. I think you got a picture of Urban Meyer.
Yes,
Somebody did. Yeah, they were really excited about that that way. So we've done Browns, Bengals, Crew. I know in a couple weeks you're doing the county commissioners thought so much of them, but they asked them to come down there for the swearing-in ceremony, and so that is just awesome. And then I would recognize our 3. Well, I'll have you come up forward here, because I was across the way after that 3 o'clock game. And it wasn't 75 and sunny outside. And I saw 2 master sergeants, so maybe taking turns guarding our equipment on the other side.
Oh, yeah, we have to. We have to.
Yeah, if you would step up there to the podium, or just get right there. Year 1 here, tell everybody who you are and what you're doing, and then we'll have the kids do the same thing.
Oh, okay, I'm Master Sergeant Soto. I'm a retired Air Force. I retired in 2011 from the Air Force. I was an Air Force medic. I spent the last 3 years at Washington High School and teaching junior ROTC there. And then I transferred down here to the great city of Newark. There was a position open, and came to interview, and I was hired, and been here. And right now I'm in charge of the air rifle team at the high school. We have an air rifle team. Actually, we're going to have a competition at Ohio State University with 5 other schools right now. We have an air competition on the 14th of January. And Ohio State has been gracious enough to let us use their range under the ROTC building up there by the Horseshoe. So we'll be up there, Ohio State, and then we'll be competing with 5 other local schools in the area. And I also help with Sergeant Barnett with the color guard. When he has multiple trips, I will assist him in taking like to Ohio State for for the football championships. You know,
How many students did we have down there at Ohio State?
Ohio State, we had 16 students. 16 students down there with 2 instructors. So we try to, like, if we have a nice venue to go to, we try to represent as many students as we can, because it's all about the students there. That's here in Newark, that's what it's about. And the program's no different. We make sure it's all about the students. So whenever we have a venue to go to, we try to get as many kids to go with as we can, and I have to expose them to what's out there in Ohio and throughout the state, and what can they get involved in, and what they can be a part of. So they get to see all kinds of venues. So it's a really good program. This year, we're at 286 cadets this year. So we're almost at, our max is 300. So we're almost there, actually, the program. The program's grown every year, that I know of anyway, here at Newark. Yeah, and we are the biggest in Ohio. We are the biggest junior ROTC in the state of Ohio. So,
May I jump in?
Yes, sir.
I had the privilege of seeing our group virtually in front of every school board in the state of Ohio, opening ceremony of the Ohio School Board Association. Thank you so much.
oh, you're welcome, sir. It's our pleasure. Like I said before, we're there for the community, and whenever chance we get to get involved in different communities, whether it be statewide, whether it be local, our kids are taking part. We'll do the bell ringing this Saturday. It's one of our community event services. We'll be doing bell ringing at Walmart all day long, from about 10 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night. So our cadets volunteer for that. And we just recently did cemetery grooming at the cemetery for veterans. They just clean up the cemetery, all the grave sites and all that. So we do a lot of different things in the community, and we just want the students to know that to be a great citizen is to be involved in your community. Whether it be part of the school board, like you guys are doing for us, we appreciate that, or whether it be just doing a color guard detail. So it's really important that they see what you guys do too, and they appreciate and see what adults are doing. You know, this is 5:30 at night, you know, and you're here at a meeting making sure the school's getting run correctly, and we really appreciate that. And what it takes to run this city, and what it takes to run high school, so we really appreciate it too.
Well, we want the community to know that, you know, our board supports our programs. And this is one, 8 years ago when I came here, it was the first year they had it. And we had 2 instructors and just a little bit over 50 students year 1. And I'm very thankful that our Board of Education realized, you're kind of like the Field of Dreams, build it, they'll come. And our board realized that we had 2 instructors, and there's a limit of number of students you can have.
Per instructor.
And we were turning down students in that program, and our board realized that, and thank you. Hopefully you can see, you know, because that 3rd one filled right up.
Yeah, we filled right out. Actually, no, with 2 instructors, for 3 instructors, 150 students or more. So we're well above what the minimum needed for 3 instructors at the high school. And just let you give you another perk that our ROTC program has given the students who take it. We're at around a 90 to 95% graduation rate of our seniors who are in our program, which is above the average of high school graduation rates. Yeah, and we've logged in over 3,000 community service hours this year already. And we hit 4,000, over 4,000, I'm sorry, my correction, over 4,000 just this year. So they're very proud of what they do, and they make sure I know what's going on with the program. As you see, they dot my I and cross my T from so.
So if we have the students
Yeah,
step up
right
right
up.
on.
So our first one, you can introduce yourself.
My name's Morgan. I've been in ROTC for 4 years. I am the assistant to the commander in the unit. And I really enjoy ROTC because honestly, if it wasn't for this, I really wouldn't know what I would be doing after high school. But it's helped me a lot. And this year we actually get to do a survival thing. So we get to go out in like the woods and all that, and like we get to stay for 3 days out there, Friday, and then we're leaving Sunday morning. And it's kind of like a good experience because you get to bond with other people, and it's like a big family. And it's like if you don't have anybody there for you, like Color Guard has always been there for me. If I need to talk to anybody, they're always there. It's just another family to me, so it's kind of
Very good.
My name is Caitlin. This is my 2nd year in the ROTC program and my 2nd year going Color Guard. Like she was saying, it's just, we're all just one big family, no matter what. We all love each other. We butt heads sometimes, just like a family does. But at the end of the day, we're always hugging each other, joking around. We were just down there doing Romeo and Juliet, so we always like to have a little fun. Definitely, I come from a military background. Most of my family is in the military, so I definitely did join ROTC for the military aspects, and I got introduced to color guard. And at first, I was kind of like, oh, what's this? I don't know if I should do it. And now it's definitely a big part of my life. This is absolutely what I love to do. No matter what, I think I'm gonna keep with it. Definitely for the next 4 years, and hopefully in college, I really look forward to doing ROTC color guard for it.
I'm Cadet Alyssa Kelly. I've been in the program for about 2 years now. I really love it, and I'm actually a commander of one of our comp teams, and I'm really proud of that. And I want to go into the military and maybe fly drones and stuff since that's the future and stuff. So I really want to carry on with the military service.
I'm Katrina Jordan. I've been in the unit for almost 2 years now as well. Like they were saying, it's like how we're all a big family, because it's like all my best friends are in here. Like these are all my best friends, and this year the graduating seniors, it's gonna be really hard watching them all leave because we've all gotten so close and there's so many of them leaving. Let's see, I've been in color guard the whole time. When I first joined, I joined because I was like, oh, I don't want to do gym. So I'm like,
Take whatever reason they want to take.
and then I got in it and I was like, oh, I really like this. Like everybody's so close. And then Master Sergeant Barnett walked up to me and said, hey, why don't you join color guard? And I was like, all right, I'll join color guard. Then I got really involved in the unit and just kind of met my best friends. After high school, I'd like to go to the Air Force, so it's kind of guided me into that aspect of my life. And I don't know, I'll carry it out through all my years in high school because it's very fun. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dylan Poplos. I am the command chief of the unit. I am the top enlisted cadet. I fall second from the commander, Alicia Connect, who is unavailable to make it here. I'm a senior. I've been in ROTC for 4 years. I joined ROTC for the guidance, for the responsibility. I do like the fact that, whenever they see anything, they reward you, whether it be with another rank or another ribbon. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to have a nice rack so that way it looks big on camera. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about that. What I would like to say though is, the guidance is carried with me, and I like, seeing everybody's faces, whether it be at the basketball games or at the crew stadium, and, or here in town. Everybody knows our name, they know who we are, and they like what we do. And I would like to continue that. I like this program so much that it will be full-time for me next year. I plan on joining the Air Force, doing security forces, and I'm leaving in July. So I just want to say thank you.
If you would, please take the time to walk through, shake your hand.
Absolutely.
I have a question. Sorry, question.
Yeah.
How many of you all are planning on making the Air Force a career?
I can't have that.
Anybody else make the Air Force a career in here? Did anybody else make a career in the Air Force in here? Yeah, they know. So yeah, that's good.
Just to give you a heads up too, some people get confused. A lot of parents will approach us and ask us, hey, my child's not going in the military. And I always tell them that ROTC is not, our main goal is not the military. So just to make sure that all the people understand is that our main goal is not to put young men and women into the military. Our main goal is to foster and raise citizens of the United States. And we have no higher rate of people going into the military than the rest of the high school. So like if you go to an ROTC program, your rate of entry into the military is no higher than the rest of the high school. So just to clarify that a little bit for if you have a parent that comes to ask you that question, that's the truth. We have no higher rate of students going in the military, so that's not our main avenue. Our main avenue is to make sure these young men and women know what it means to be a citizen in the United States, know what it means to be a person in the community and be involved. So, thank you. One of the members had a great question. I want to clarify that. That'd be a great question. Everybody knows that. He asked me if the cadets pay for uniforms, and they don't. All the program uniforms, if we go somewhere that costs money for food, we pay for the Air Force. We have funds that come to us through the Air Force, through the high school, and maybe up front we'll pay for it. The high school might through our activity budget, but the Air Force reimburses all that money. So the kids do not pay for the uniforms, the ribbon wraps, nothing is all paid for. So there's no cost in them being a part of our program at all.
And if you're in the unit for 4 years, you get to keep the whole uniform.
Oh, yes.
But if you go to C-Tech or something, you have to give the uniform back. But you get to keep your ribbons, your rings, and anything that you earn in here.
Thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it.
Wow, what a program. You know, I can tell you this, we field more than one call a year. Several calls we're fielding now. How do I start a unit like that in our school district? So other districts are taking a look at what we're doing, and this is awesome. Great program. Come a long way. I know Tom and Tim were part of the board that brought that in. All of your support.
I go to a lot of crew games, and they're presenting the colors at almost everyone, and I always tweet out. So if there's one crazy person that stands yelling "Go Cats" at the beginning of the game, and everyone else is yelling "Go Crew," that's me.
Oh. Well, Master Sergeant Soto could probably get you down on the field prior to the games to be down there to take a good picture.
I'll get with you on that.
Yes, yes. I mean, that would be a neat thing for you to put one of the uniforms. Okay, we have one more, because we have a young lady who is not here, but we have one more student recognition tonight, and that is Jed Quackenbush. Jed, come up to the podium. As Jed comes forward, I asked Jed to come in here because Jed was honored with a second team All-Ohio in Division I as a kicker here. So we congratulate you for that, Jed. I know you've worked hard for that. And Jed won't tell you a little bit. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Jed, and then he can help out there a little bit, because I want to make sure that everything gets out there. So, Jed, it's great to see you here tonight. And as I mentioned earlier, I've been here 8 years, and I remember Jed out at Hillview Elementary School when I first came in. And I know that Jed has worked extremely hard in the classroom and on the athletic field. He's a soccer player. Originally, I think that was his love, and our football program pulled him over to kick, and I don't know, that may be his first love right now. And I know that I've watched you mature as a young man. I actually told your mother this summer, I talked to you a little bit and said, former high school principal, high school teacher, you can always tell when seniors, they're ready to move on. You can tell, and you didn't even have to do this year, Jed. I thought you were ready to move on before, but thank goodness you did, because you're helping our basketball team and certainly helping our soccer and football along there. And Jed's an example of hard work on the playing field and in the classroom. Can put you in a pretty good position in life, when you're coming out of high school for opportunities. And he's not selected at school yet, but his mom and dad, their wallets are a little bit bigger because of the position that he's putting himself in life. So Jed, tell the board a little bit about yourself.
Throughout high school, 4-year letterman in soccer, 4-year letterman in football. Played basketball 4 years. Soccer as a junior, I was first team All-League, third team All-Central District. Football this year, I was first team All-Advocate, first team All-OCC, second team All-Central District, first team Region 11, and the second team All-State. I'm the all-time leading scorer as a kicker for the 4 years, and I broke the single season record for points scored by a kicker as well. And that's a lot due to my teammates getting me in those positions. I just go out there and do my job. In the classroom, I have a 3.8 GPA. I'm 22nd in my class, and I also do College Credit Plus. I take a couple college classes as well as some high school classes, so that's fun.
What about Cole's Kicking Can award and the one you raised for cancer research?
Yeah, last year I did a program through, it was brought to me by Cole's Kicking, which is just a national kicking organization. They rank, they teach, and they compete, and those are kind of the three things they base their program off of. So when I went to their national scholarship camp last year as a junior, and I also went this year, but as a junior I got introduced to a program called Kick It for Cancer, and you set up a profile and we put it out on all kinds of social media to get as much people to see it as we can. And you can donate money, just give a donation, you can donate per point, anything like that. So it's really cool, and last year I think we raised like $600 for cancer research, so that was really neat. And then that camp with Coles, I'm ranked 62nd in the class of 2017, and that was from my performances throughout their camps from my sophomore to right before, the summer before my senior year, so that was very fun.
Did you ever win a Kicker of the Week award through that?
I did. Week one of our football season, I was named National Kicker of the Week by Coles for our game against Zanesville, and I was 41-0, by the way.
Furthest field goal?
Furthest field goal in a game was 48. Made that this year against Canal. I also made a 47 against Zanesville.
I'm glad you mentioned that because during the Ohio State-Michigan game, I was yelling at the TV, like I was yelling at Urban Meyer to put Jed Quackenbush in, and I'm like, and he was missing stuff, and I'm like, Jed Quackenbush can make it from 15 yards further back than that. Are you kidding me right now? So I was yelling at the TV. It did not.
Jed, I've always talked about, you know, when your name's in the paper for second team All Ohio, it says Jed Quackenbush, Newark High School in there, and you're out online and social media with the Coles stuff earlier this fall, Jed Quackenbush from Newark High School and the video on there. It's always great for our community and outside our community to see what wonderful kids and student athletes we have here. And I know that your parents, John and Barbara Quackenbush, are very proud of you. We're very proud of you. We just wanted to bring you in to share that. You got anything else to share? I heard your name mentioned today in a track conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not gonna make any commitments at the podium tonight.
That might happen. It's still up in the air, but that might happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice work on the glass the other night.
Oh, thank you.
Quite a few of those rebounds.
Good job.
Got through that. I didn't call you Jed William or Jedster once, did I? No? All right. Yeah. Yeah. I just had to throw that in.
Boy, we were surprised.
You're more than free to go, Jed and John, or you're more than welcome to stay.
Okay, we'll move on to public meeting on the issue of employment of Melinda Vaughn by the Newark City School District Board of Education. Members of the public are invited to provide input to the board on the issue of Melinda Vaughn reemployment in the district following her retirement. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes each, and all public comments will be closed after 30 minutes. Anyone would like to speak regarding this, please step to the podium, give your name, your address. Okay, being none, we will move on to communications from the floor. If anyone would like to address the board regarding any other issues, again, step to the podium, give your name, your address, and you'll have up to 5 minutes. Okay, Being none, we'll move on to treasurer's recommendations. Jeffrey?
Item 2A is approval of minutes of Board of Education meeting. It is recommended the minutes of the following board meeting be approved as shown in the appendix, November 21st, 2016 regular meeting. Item 2B is approval of November 2017 financial statements and payments to vendors. We received interest earned in the amount of $21,090.87 for the month. Our general fund balance is $28,580,000. Our bond retirement is $370,000. Our permanent improvement is $1,540,000. Building fund is $140,000. Food service is $1,630,000. Insurance reserve is $3,670,000. Classroom facilities for repairs is $2,490,000. Miscellaneous others is $780,000 for a total of $39,190,000, which balances with the bank statement, which is the next page of your financial package. Item 2C is the approval of fiscal year 17 permanent supplemental appropriations resolution. We had some other grants for $349, and we had district student managed activities for $23,000. Item 2D is approval to pay invoices for data served. We have one invoice which is $158,168.01, and the other one is $64,680 and no cents. The reason those are on there is that we got invoiced before we got the purchase order out. When it switches like that, we're required by state law to get you guys to approve it. So that's the reason they're there. It's just normal service from data served, just the timing on the invoice versus the purchase order. Item 2E is approval to participate in OSBA legal fund. In this year, it would be an amount of $250. Item 2F is approval to annual membership dues for Ohio School Board Association. Membership this year for us at our student count would be $6,791. Item 2G is that I'm asking you to set a date, time, and place for the organizational meeting. And then item 2H is appoint a president pro tem. So I would ask that you vote on items A through F first, then we can take motions and or discuss items G and H. If that makes sense to you all.
We have a motion to approve the treasurer's recommendations 2A through F.
So moved.
Questions, comments?
I have a question. E and F, the OSBA, is the stuff we typically approve in January?
Well, last couple of years, we've approved them this year to help speed up that annual meeting. Because we get the invoice this month, so we asked you to go ahead and approve it. That way it just takes care of it. There's no yay or nay. I can move it to the annual meeting if you prefer.
No, it's fine. I just want to clarify.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, call the roll, please, Jeff.
Mr. Blowers?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Nickam?
Yes.
Mr. Blind?
Yes.
Thank you. Now you're on item 2G.
I believe it's Saturday, January 7th has been mentioned. I know you've got a little bit of an issue, but I think you've got an issue every Saturday in January, don't you? February, March. You're talking 9 o'clock?
I think we were passing around 8:30.
8:30 is fine,
I mean, I hope they're not.
yeah. You.
Which would you guys prefer?
I don't care.
That sounds like a theory I like.
So January 7th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Somebody want to make that motion and then you can vote on it?
So moved.
Call the roll.
Mr. Blowers?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Nickam?
Yes.
Mr. Blind?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Now you're at item 2H.
Which is the president pro tem, which is just someone to chair the meeting until the new president is elected.
I move that Tom Blind serve as the president pro tem of the organizational meeting.
I'll second.
Okay. Any comments? Probably shouldn't have asked that
Probably,
one.
probably.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Nickam?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Blowers?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Blind?
Yes.
So Mr. Blind will be President Pro Tem at the January 7th, 9 a.m. meeting. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Number 3, superintendent's recommendations.
Under retirements, we have Henry Green, who's a school psychologist. Henry will be leaving at the end of this calendar year, not school year, so this month. He's done. We wish Henry well. He's going out west where he went to college and way out Portland or Seattle, Washington, somewhere way out there. So, yeah, exactly. But Henry's served the district very well. Appreciate that. Mark Kryling, social studies at the high school, effective at the end of this school year. And Mark is also our softball coach, and he's not resigned that position. He's unsure what he's going to do. We have a secretary at Liberty, Mona Becker, and also Deborah Hill, who will be coming back as a retiree hire in the payroll department. Appointments and assignments are also on the list. Supplemental contracts, we have a couple after school and kindergarten parent connection. That's Ben Franklin. Salary and position adjustments, substitutes. And Margaret was still, we were out last week at Ohio State talking to a group of seniors who will be graduating. And we had a handful out there that we found some stuff. So we're always looking for guest teachers on there. And then under 8, under other termination of job, termination of job on the, within the first 90 days, there are two personnel members on that list. Also, the addendum, thank you, Bev, for bringing that. Jeff Quackenbush has interviewed volleyball candidates for our head volleyball coach, and we have Art Bellini, who Art has been with the program for quite a while as an assistant. Good fella, and I think we'll do a good job with that. So, items 1 through 8.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Comments, questions? Okay, Jeff, call the roll, please.
Ms. Nickam?
Yes.
Mr. Blowers?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Blind?
Yes.
And I left out Mr. Weber.
Yes.
I was calling that from memory. That shows you how good my memory is. I'm only about 80% there. Forgot the last guy. Thank you.
And then under item 2, special education contracts or students in curriculum, item B. Item 2, special education contracts. And again, I point out that these are far away, Worcester, Lakewood in our backyard, but Elgin, we've had a few of those. That's my old school for 13 years. So those are foster place students that way. Purchase service agreement with Eagle Wings. Under other, we have approval of the 2017-2018 school calendar, which I can't believe we're talking about that already in there. This month we have no gifts to approve, and so let's go ahead and approve items B and C. The other separately.
Can I have a motion?
Second.
Comments, questions? I will comment, it does sort of concern me a little bit. We just seem to be creeping earlier and earlier in August, finishing a little bit earlier in May. At some point, we're going to have to maybe communicate with parents, see if that early schedule works well. I know we have to be finished by the end of May for our retired teachers.
So I think the biggest concern is the state requirements for the testing. So maybe we need to communicate
Pushed
to the
everybody
state.
back. It's a good point. I mean, that's why you get as many days as you can before the testing comes in. I know other districts have creeped a week ahead of us, that outer area. We've resisted that. But, those days prior to testing are so important that way. So Tom, your point is,
Thank you, State of Ohio.
yeah,
One more thing they've messed up first.
I advocate the Labor Day, Memorial Day calendar myself, like we had before, but no one's listening to me.
They're not listening in, let's face it. Any other questions or comments? Okay, call the roll, please, Jeff.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Nickam?
Yes.
Mr. Blowers? Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Blind?
Yes.
Thank
I think under D, we'll do two different votes, easier for you guys on these contracts maybe. Approval of the contract with Anderson Lehman Company, and that is the group of Steve Lehman and group representatives on the Dado Drive property. I think Tom and some of you were talking earlier about maybe striking a sentence out.
We can talk to Steve about that.
Talk with Steve about that? Okay. So, again, that's a 2-year contract.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Comments, questions?
So, we vote on it, is it as is? Who's right?
I think we can amend
Let's make the motion approving the contract with tentative amendments in the executive session. Okay? So I'll write it up that way.
Okay.
Is that okay with you for that, for your
Yes.
motion? Is it okay with you for the second? Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. With tentative amendments then.
it. Any other questions or comments? Okay, call the roll, please, Jeff.
Mr. Blowers?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Nickam?
Yes.
Mr. Blind?
Yes.
Okay, so item 2 then, approval of the athletic training services agreement with Ohio Health. And just to refresh the board's memory, we've been with Ohio Health for 3 years. And prior to that, we had 1 full-time trainer employed by the school. And then we had a supplemental contract that was about $12,000, three different supplementals for the year. We had a fall, spring, or fall, winter, spring supplemental. And so we were paying over $100,000 for those services. And so we were able to contract with Ohio Health 3 years ago. And for $40,000, we got 2 trainers for 80 hours a week. And the good thing for us is they hired Mr. Doty, who was our employee to begin with. And then we were still paying Mike McNichol that supplemental fall, winter. So it was about $52,000. So they're proposing for $50,000, we get 2.5 trainers. Then 2 full-time at 80 hours a week and 1 part-time at 40. And so we're going to save a couple $1,000s again. So over the course of 3 or so years, we've already saved, I estimate about $150,000 and getting more service. And we're extremely satisfied with the service we're getting from Ohio Health. So we appreciate the relationship we have with them.
We have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions?
I will say that while I supported it 3 years ago, I did have some minor reservations. I was concerned about it being the Ohio Health program and not being able to control it and do it the right way. And I'm concerned about the sponsorship signing and stuff, but everything's worked out great. And I think it's been a fantastic relationship, and I'm happy to continue it.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Okay, Jeff.
Ms. Nickam?
Yes.
Mr. Blowers?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Blind?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any board reports or recommendations? Okay, we'll move on to board discussion, start at the far end.
Well, we're fast approaching the halfway point here. And I'd like to just say thanks again to all of our staff, especially our classroom teachers. our artistic directors in the performing arts department, all the concerts going on, all the school programs, all the extra time everyone's putting in for the benefit of our children. So thank you so much. And Merry Christmas.
I think I brought a cold back. I'll pass. I enjoyed this past Saturday being a robotic design judge for a Lego robot tournament. And they could not have picked a dumber person to be a Lego robot judge than me, but they selected me anyway. And I learned a bunch. They actually have videos online you can learn and pretend like you have a clue anyway. But there's just so much great stuff going on in our district. Into some concerts. I'm going to go to some more, some sporting events, all kinds of wonderful things. It's just a great time to be a part of Newark, and I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, and I hope our kids are okay with being out of school for a couple of weeks. I'm sure they're going to be bummed right at first, but they'll probably get used to that, sleep until noon and such. So anyway, Merry Christmas.
One thing I wanted to mention the passing of Duncan Untonier. Our thoughts certainly go out to the Untonier community. Duncan was, I believe, a 2012 graduate of Newark High School, recently passed. And I've known Duncan's parents, Greg and Brenda, since we were all teenagers. And so I know it's very difficult for them. And I'm really proud of the Newark school groups that have stepped up to recognize and honor Duncan and to do some fundraising for the family. And that speaks to a lot of what Junior ROTC was talking earlier about family and supporting the community. And our students have done a great job in stepping up to support the Untonier family at this time. And I really appreciate that.
I think it's under Do It for Duncan.
Yeah, do it for Duncan. In fact, I'm going to Texas Roadhouse for dinner tomorrow night. Give me a good excuse to or to Wednesday night. Wednesday night. Tomorrow's City Barbecue. Wednesday is Texas Roadhouse. I get an excuse to go out to eat. And I know the kids, I think, are excited about. They want a snow day. My son, when it was snowing, when there were 3 snowflakes last Thursday, he's like, "Did you talk to Mr. Ute? Like, yeah, we cancel school tomorrow." So hopefully we won't have too many of those snowflakes.
I've tried to share Friday night at the game when the kids hit me that way, and today I was at the high school and they were hitting me. I said, you gotta have a little snow to have snow day.
Exactly.
You gotta understand that.
Everyone have a happy holiday.
Thank you for allowing me to go to the city of Newark City Schools and the city of Newark, and just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. I love this time of year, and I especially love it when the snow does show up. Even if I don't get a snow day, I still like the snow.
Okay, well, really happy to bring kids in, students in, here at the board meeting, just to show our board and our community, wonderful kids we have here in the district. I know over the last few weeks, been a lot of concerts and ball games, and I'm sitting here thinking, we have a freshman swimmer breaking records. Our wrestlers are in here working very hard every day. They have the room in here, and the gym here is theirs, and there's a good number of students in there. It's good to see that gym full of wrestlers. Our boys and girls basketball teams might not win every game, but we're really got some good teams and kids playing hard. But I know I've been to elementary, middle, and headed over to high school after this. Thanks, Bev and Tom and everybody else who was headed over there to see this and move the board meeting up so we could get over and see that. I know Thursday night we had a big concert at the high school, and I'm just amazed at, really thankful for our staff members who work with our kids and put on these wonderful, wonderful performances. We have a lot of talented students in this district, a lot of talented folks here, and so just always a great time to be a Cat. Very excited about it.
I'd like to thank our students that were here. I think they represent what Newark City Schools is about. And those that go to our athletic events, if you watch how our student athletes and our coaches conduct themselves, and then watch those from some of the other schools, it really makes you appreciate our people. And, you know, I think we're teaching our kids a lot more than how to shoot a basketball or how to hold a flag. You know, we're teaching these kids a lot of life lessons, and we've got some really good kids absorbing those lessons. Beyond that, I'd just like to wish everybody a happy holidays. Be careful, kids will be out and about for a couple of weeks. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of discussing real estate matters.
Tim,
Yes.
second? Okay.
Do not anticipate any business after this.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Blowers?
Yes.
Ms. Nickam?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Blount?
Yes.
Thank you.